nothing wrong with that. Yeah, totally fine.
Sure, then
I
you're
would
not a
not,
transphobe.
I would, of course I'm not. I would not,
So then, like, I don't. Then you're not.
I would
You're
not
dead.
like to see him, for instance, I would not find it fair. It's not like I don't like to see it. I would not find it fair to see him playing a game of football with my daughter, for instance, in a couple of
Well,
years.
they're a
Because,
different age, right?
yeah, she's older.
So
And
they
even
wouldn't be
so,
playing together anyway.
yeah, they could. Women are playing well, they don't follow much female sport. Women are much older when they practice professional sport than
Right,
men.
right. But in school,
Yeah,
typically,
yeah.
well, actually, no. I suppose in school you would typically stay with you would play across age
You
groups.
stay
So
with,
that's true.
yeah, yeah. So, see, that would not be very fair, would be, for her. He's stronger.
I don't. Maybe not.
He's
Not if you
stronger
start
than
taking
her. He's
hormones.
faster than her. He's
Wait,
taller than her.
Viriato, wait. Do you understand that hormones change your body?
Yeah, but you don't shrink, do you?
Yeah, they do. They shrink your muscles, literally.
Yeah, what I mean is like you don't shrink your bones. You shrink your muscles.
There are tall girls, though, right? Would you not
I
want
don't
your
know.
daughter competing against a tall girl?
Yeah, I would love to. She can compete with all the tall girls and short girls. That's not really the problem. It's like,
So then, what's the problem?
I don't think you should relate directly. Well, you should. You can, of course. People are free. You can do whatever you want. I think the problem here nowadays, when you talk about and you put this premise here of transphobes and women directly, I always think about men. I always find that men are also part of the equation here, and we're always forgot about this. Yeah, yeah. Nobody talks about men.
Yeah, because
And-
the people who, like I said, this is about women. This is about using women to progress some sort of social agenda. It's not about actually protecting women. It never has been.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I think it's a very, very complicated matter here, and
It
I'm
is
sorry.
complicated, and I'm happy to have a complicated conversation with you. But there are some people who don't care and are just using it to try to push an agenda. And those are the people that I would argue hate women.
Absolutely, absolutely. I totally agree, but I think they're from both sides. Yeah, I think that if you can find the balance there, when you look at the balanced moment of things, of this new social formation, creation, whatever that we are living in, this changing of paradigm, you're going to find that in the middle there are quite a few that are balanced. They are on the right. Okay, they're trans, they're women, they're men, whatever. They're balanced. Then you have some of people doing an agenda against women, but there's also a massive agenda pro-trans that is excessive.
Yeah. I mean, there was also, like 20 years ago, 10 years ago even, there was a massive agenda pro-gay people, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's not a bad thing.
Well, the gay people, whatever, they never told me how should I speak, how should I think.
Did they tell you that you're not allowed to say the F word? Because they probably did.
The F word?
Yeah, it starts with F and rhymes with maggot.
Okay, we don't have that expression in Portugal. Yeah, all right. Okay, got it.
At least in English, that's not a thing that we say, right? And we don't say that because it's harmful to gay people.
But you don't say to, sorry, you don't call them to all the stupid people that you know, do you?
I never did, but I grew up being in a gay friendly home, so.
Yeah, no. But what I mean is it's not polite. It's not. It's a question of
exactly. That's the point. It's not polite.
It's not polite. Yeah, you can think, you can feel it, whatever, but it's not polite. The same way it's not polite to any other thing. But they will get mad, but they will not tell me you must call me this, you must tell me this, you must do this. Yeah, and that agenda is very strong. I feel.
Viriato, can I ask you a question? Is Viriato your first name?
Yeah, it is.
Do you have a
No,
nickname?
my second name. Eugenio is my first name.
Why do you go by Viriato on here?
because, well, I go everywhere by Viriato because it's my first name is a family name, and there are too many.
Okay, so it's a preference of yours, right? To go by your second name, not your first name.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it would be kind of weird if somebody called you Eugenio, even if you didn't want them to, right?
No, there's many situations in my life where people call me the first name.
Yeah. But like, if so
And I don't get mad with them.
it's not a great example because you probably don't mind your first name and you do it out of convenience. But for example, some people have a nickname or they use their middle name because they hate their first name, right? In that case, I think it'd be kind of disrespectful to call them by the name that they don't want to be called.
Yeah.
So that's the point. Like it's really just about being decent and, you know, respecting how people want to be identified. Like it's just like, look, if somebody wants to be if somebody wants you to use a certain pronoun, he, she, whatever, just do it. Like it doesn't hurt anybody. And it just it just makes them less upset. Like
No, sure, absolutely. I totally agree with that. I just disagree with the people being mad at you because you don't guess the pronoun.
Like, well, okay, so yeah,
you know what I mean?
And I've had this stance for a long time. If somebody gets like mad at you because you got it wrong the first time, that's dumb. Like you're allowed to make a mistake.
It is dumb.
If they correct you and they're like, hey, actually, I prefer this, and then you go, oh, sorry about that, and then you don't do it again, that's fine. If they're like, I hate you, you're such an evil person because they get it wrong, then they're just toxic. Then they're just an asshole.
Yeah. I totally agree. In Portugal, for us, it's a little bit. Our language is a little bit different, so we don't have that situation of the pronouns. So we don't apply it. It's impossible because it's either male or female. We don't have neutral gender in Portuguese.
Sure.
So you always have to be defined by something. And in Portugal, we're very relaxed with the situation. I'm quite relaxed with all this situation of transphobic and being whatever you want. Transphobic, not being a trans or not being a trans, being gay or not being gay, getting married, having kids. It's totally fine. Absolutely. We really don't care. Our society is fun enough as a Catholic. As being a traditional Catholic country, accepted all of that, even euthanasia.
Portugal's really weird. Like, it's really weird.
Man. Yeah. We are weird in that sense. I think we are the
awesome.
pagan.
It's awesome,
the
but
Christian
it's really weird.
Pagans, whatever.
Yeah.
we carry the Christian guilt, but the pagan freedom, whatever.
It's a very, like, you guys also have like decriminalized basically all drugs, right?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, now even the chemical ones are totally free.
Like it's just working fine, right? I don't know from personal experience. I've heard that it's just like fine.
We were the first country to depenalize or decriminalize all drugs in the world in the year 2000. So 23 years ago, and we decreased all our. We had a big problem with addiction and suicide and crime, and all of that decreased. And we went from the 18th dangerous country to the third most peaceful country in the world. Now we decreased a little bit. We're the 6th at the moment.
I'm still doing pretty good. Portugal's wild. Like, I should honestly. I'm in Europe now. I should visit just to see what it's like because I've heard about it.
You're more than welcome, and it will be a pleasure to show you around.
I'll have to make a trip out there. I plan on going to Spain at some point as well. So, maybe I'll make an effort. Cool.
All right, man. I'm not going to steal any more of your time. You clarified the transphobes hate women situation here. That was actually my real point here, because they're also men. But now you clarified that to me. All the best. It was a pleasure to talk to you.
Likewise. Have a good one.
All right. Take care.
All right. Who's salty in the guest box? Let's talk to Gordy. I don't know. Maybe Gordy's salty. I love women. I love trans people. All right, this person's not connecting.
Yeah, hello.
Hey, do you love trans people?
I think there are many decent people in every community, but If we talk about specifics, right? I feel
Yeah. So
like,
do you
I
love
agree that
trans
they have a
people?
right to live and express.
Do you love trans people?
Brother, like it's going against like my religion, but I don't mean to disrespect anyone in that regard, honestly. But I feel like yes, I agree they have a right to live and express themselves
Okay.
because I'm a Muslim, brother. Yeah,
Okay. So you're Muslim. So
I have
you think
a
that?
specific.
So what do you think they? So what do you think about trans people then? What is that? There are plenty of pro-trans Muslims. So
Yeah, but the thing is that I think you would see the point is that if, for example, the scripture says something and it has like a specific idea of like a male and female, even though I would say that these people, they shouldn't be harassed and they should be loved for who they are, I guess. But that's the point I was trying to make specifically, right? But I would hold the view that someone who is, for example, born male, he would be male genetically, and I don't mean that to disrespect or demean anyone.
well, male is different from man, right?
What do you mean?
So I agree. Somebody who is born with XY chromosomes, testicles, and these kinds of things, that makes them male. I agree. Everybody agrees with that. Mostly. There could be some weird genetic conditions. But yeah, that makes them male. Male is sex. Right? There's male and female. That's like biological sex. Man and woman, not biological sex. Different things. Man and woman
Yeah, but
are other words. Different words from male and female.
no, true. But doesn't woman and man it stems from the terms male and female? I mean, yes, there's like a separation between gender and sex, but isn't that a recent thing though? Like at
Not
least like
really,
the
no.
60s.
I mean, gender originally just referred to language, didn't even refer to sex at all.
Yeah, but specifically, how would you, for example, define what a woman is?
Yeah, I would say that if they're associated with a certain set of tropes that we typically ascribe to females, then that's what I would call a woman.
Yeah, that's actually a good definition, and I think it's much more rounded and much more better than, some people would say a woman is a woman, and that's very circular. But if we say, for example, the traits associated to a female, and we can even say, for example, those sorts of traits, right? But would
Yeah, we
those
could
be,
list
for
some traits.
example,
We could list some
feminine?
physical traits, emotional traits, sociological traits, psychological traits, relational traits, tons of traits. Being a
Yeah,
woman is
actually,
complicated. Being
yeah.
a man is complicated. But, okay, here's my question, and here's why I have this background. Why did you ask what is a woman and not what is a man?
No, we can go back and forth on both, but I was just wondering specifically.
Yeah, I
'Cause
just want to know, like, why did you start on what a woman is?
Oh, no, I think it's much simpler. For example, if I'm discussing something, I want to know what someone means by that specific topic because other people might have their personal opinions on what it means. So that's what I want to get on first.
Okay, so you asked what do you think a woman is because I had it in the background?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Also, secondly, if we're talking about specific traits, what traits do you think would be not like determining factor, but like which one would you list as like first, I
I
guess?
mean, like, so like, here's a trait that's typically associated with females. Having boobs, that would be a trait. Typically associated with female. Being motherly, also a trait that's typically associated with being female. Being butch would be a trait that's typically associated with being female, right? There's a whole bunch of different traits that we could talk about that have roles from the social to the psychological to the physical, etc.
Oh yeah, that makes sense, man. And I understand that sort of thing. But one thing I want to say before I leave, Rover, is that I wish you the best, man.
Likewise. Thanks for being here, man.
Take care, man.
Take care. Let's talk to Dusty Skates.
Hello.
Hey, Dusty, how's it going?
Hey, not bad.
Do you love trans people?
I can't say that I do. But I wouldn't be disrespectful to anyone in their choices. I'm not that kind of person. However, I think a lot of people would agree with me that our society has not been conditioned enough to really accept this, because when you say phobe, that means fear, right? So people fear something that's outside the normal, and our society is still, for the most part, I think, considering this outside the normal. And gay is kind of becoming something that's more and more normal. So there's less and less phobia of that. But this, and I'm not saying trans people are wrong in any way. I'm just talking about the claim that you have on the screen. So given that I get an uneasy feeling and kind of like when I see someone who's trying to identify as sex that maybe they weren't born with through those traits that you were just talking about, it does make me feel uncomfortable. Do I hate women? Absolutely not. I don't see how that correlates at all.
Yeah, so, I mean, I may be being a little hyperbolic here, but you've certainly encountered the transphobes I'm referring to, I imagine, unless you live in under a rock.
There's extremes, right? Like,
well, what I mean is the people who are who want to legislate about it.
Yeah, but that's not a transphobe. A transphobe is anyone who feels fear because of what they see.
So, okay, look. When we say somebody has arachnophobia, that literally means that they're afraid of spiders. But when we say somebody's homophobic, that doesn't mean that they're, like, afraid. It means that they hate gay people.
I guess if... I don't know.
That's just how the word is used.
Using the word phobia, right, then.
Well, I mean, like, that's just how the word... Like, if you call someone a homophobe,
slang.
it doesn't mean that they go, ah, when they see a gay person, right? It means that they hate gay people.
Okay.
It's not slang. It's just what the word... Like, okay, hold on. I have to double check. If I look up definition of homophobia, what does it actually say? Yeah, dislike of or prejudice against gay people. It has nothing to do with fear. This is literally the Oxford Dictionary. It's just dislike of or prejudice against, right?
That's interesting.
So, like, when I say transphobia, that's what I'm referring to. I'm not referring to, like, oh, like, it startles me, right?
Okay. Well, given that fact, I'm still one of those people that have a hard time when you walk into a public place and you see someone that is trying to identify as something that you don't see as natural. And I guess let's just say that I dislike that feeling that I get when I see it.
You dislike the feeling? So you dislike disliking it?
I actually would say that that's accurate because I don't want to.
Then you're not a problem.
But how does a person that is prejudiced against that hate women?
Because they use women as a pawn to try to push their social prejudice. That's how.
And then it's not the other way around with men either.
It never has to do with men. You never hear people asking, "What's a man?" You never hear people asking about trans men in men's restroom. You never hear people asking about men's sports or men's college or any. It's always just utilizing women as a tool. And I think that we should see the pattern there.
Yeah, I guess I just don't see that pattern. I just think that this is...
Have you ever heard a transphobe complain about trans men?
So, like, from I guess a girl trying to be a guy?
Sure.
Yeah. I hear people... What do you mean, who?
Like there's not a documentary called What is a Man?
Yeah, I guess it's probably the same reason why you have this title is because it's catchy. And
well, I have this title because I think that transphobes hate women, not because I don't think that they hate men.
That's just so weird. I just think that men have there's prejudice against men in this regard as well. And I think women face a lot more obstacles right now, but as equality grows, I think men are also in the scope here. So I don't see how maybe you hate people. If you hate transphobes, you hate, or if you're a transphobe, you hate people.
No, I don't think that that's right. Like, I mean, just having just having spoken with trans people who are both trans men and trans women, like trans men get a very, very different kind of have a very, very different kind of negative experience, if any, from the external world. I mean, obviously there is still transphobia, of course, but it's a very, very different kind and very, very less vitriolic.
I just think that it goes absolutely both ways, where I think as people see the unnatural occurrence, that they are trying to wrap their minds around the reasons why. And I'm not saying that that's correct. It's just what our brains do. It's like we are associating, we have a definition of normal in our heads that we grew up with, and then we see something that isn't like that, and it makes us uncomfortable. And I think it doesn't matter whether it's the women's side or the men's side. I think either way is just as unnatural. I don't think that, you know, a trans woman or a trans man would get any sort of different response at all.
Yeah, I mean, just speaking from experience, that's just not the
like
case.
Like a study with you somehow, where we could actually test that.
Okay, yeah, let's actually Google. All right, let's see. I just pulled up experiences and factors associated with transphobic hate crime. Oh, this is among transgender women. We want violence against trans. Let's see.
It's funny that
this is not separating by
just letting
gender.
Everyone know. It's not that I feel icky. It's that people are trying to associate what they've learned as normal, and they're trying to understand what they're seeing. I'm not calling anyone icky.
All right, I'm just trying to pull up numbers here. Victims. Here we go. Okay. Okay, this is not distinguishing by gender. Yeah, this is just saying the percentage of people. Hold on. Yeah, this is not a number that's easy to find, to actually see like how transphobia is like experienced by gender. I'm just talking from experience here. But sorry, one more time?
No, I mean, I would actually be interested to see like the findings of studies. Like, I'm just saying, like, and trying to think of it in not my way, but a non-biased way, and just like see that claim, just see how it unfolds. It'd be interesting. But I just
most of the studies I'm finding don't seem to distinguish between trans men and trans women. It's just discussing total trans hate.
And that's kind of what I mean. Is like that's the concept that I think that needs to be focused on, because that it's the transition itself that people take issue with in their minds. It's not, oh, that's a woman, or oh, that's a man. It's the transition itself. So the reason why why do you think all of the media, because it really is, why do you think all of the media is about protecting women? Well, media is all about the
laws, right? The proposed laws as well.
I don't know if I have a really good answer for that, actually, to be honest. I'd have to think about it, but I think for the media part, when you said the laws part, that kind of threw me for a loop.
Because I mean, it very it very much is pretty clear as day. Like what the people, like if you go watch interviews from the people who are writing these laws, they will say, yeah, we have to protect women from predator, like that kind of stuff.
I think that's like the media.
Like that's the common talking point.
A lot of thing is driven by what people are. So the media gives what people want. So what gets more views, what gets more reads, what gets more clicks.
But those are the interviews with the people who write the laws, right?
Yeah, the laws part, I honestly can't wrap my mind around that.
But there are a bunch of laws, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. Yes, you're right. Yeah. So it's a good point. That's what I'm saying. But the reason why I joined is, I guess, my thought of what you meant by transphobes was probably misunderstood on my part.
Yeah,
and then
it's not
the fact that that's associated with hating women, I was just like, wait a minute, that makes me feel uncomfortable, but I don't hate women. I'm a figure skater. I'm around women all the time, and I watch women's figure skating.
So let's try to...
Yeah, go ahead.
So maybe this is just a conversation worth having. What about trans people make you uncomfortable?
It's like, I don't like that it does. And I hope people aren't misconstruing this as I have prejudice against anyone, because I really try not to. But it just makes me uncomfortable because I guess I try to put myself in their shoes. And then if I see myself doing it, it just seems unnatural for me to want to do it. And then I try to think past my own shoes, and it's just what I observe is people generally try to avoid interacting with those people in public and have a hard time making eye contact because they just feel it's outside the normal of kind of what they've grew up with. And I think eventually, now that this is becoming more in the spotlight of media and things, I think we'll grow as a nation and as a community where this probably won't be as abnormal to people. But I think that's why I think that's why it's like that, is my best guess.
I mean, okay. Like, honestly, like, that's about as good as I can hope for. So, I don't know. I don't need to push you more. All I would say is just, like, so I think what it is for a lot of people is if you don't know any trans people, like, personally, you don't actually know any trans people, you just kind of, like, see a trans person, and you're, like, kind of weirded out by it. I feel like that, like, your response is actually probably pretty typical. I think that goes away when you interact with trans people as humans, like as people. And, then you just, like, if you have trans friends or trans colleagues or whatever, then it becomes more normal. And so all I'd say is if it's something that you want to work on, which, you don't have to, you do you, I guess. But, talk to trans people.
No, right. And I just don't have anyone that is, it's still rare. And in my daily life, I don't really run into it. But if I think that what you're talking about is absolutely true, where if you start interacting with a person, it becomes more about who that person is, their personality, what their interests are. It has nothing to do with their race, with what they identify as gender. It comes more with, like, what do we have in common? And then you start finding that common ground, and it's like, well, you do this and you do that, but we get along because we get along. So
yeah,
and I think that would happen with me too. I don't have any friends or acquaintances that are. So, and I think if I did, I think I would absolutely agree with you.
Honestly, I am done here then.
Yeah. Like I said, the reason I joined is because I think the transphobe word, as you Googled it, I think I just took it as anybody.
Yeah, I might have to change. I might have to change the background, because a lot of people are coming on being like, well, if I'm just like, so this is the first time I'm using this background, so I might have to change it just to see if I can make it more clear what I'm really getting at. But we'll see how it goes tonight.
Yeah. Also, if I would love to on another one talk about physics with you sometime because
I might do Ask a Physicist again tomorrow. So we'll see.
That'd be cool. All right.
Maybe later tonight if I get sick of this. All right, later, dude.
All right. See you. Bye.
All right, let's talk to Core 3X.
Hello?
Hey, do you love trans people?
Actually, I don't care which way trans people go, to be honest with you. I just have some discrepancies about how they want to identify themselves.
Wait,
really.
are you driving?
Yeah.
Sorry.
My car is...
It's a...
My phone's mounted.
I know, but TikTok rules are that you can't be driving. It's not my thing, it's just a TikTok thing. But feel free to hop back in when you're done.
Okay, here, I'll...
Yeah, it's just TikTok rules. Sorry.
Yo,
Hey, Justin, do you love trans people?
absolutely not.
Ah, why?
Because I'm a follower of Christ.
All right, do you hate women?
No, I don't.
I don't believe you.
That's fine.
Okay.
I'd say being trans, especially being a trans woman, is anti-feminist and anti-women in general.
The feminists disagree with you, bud.
Well, they can disagree with me, but they would be incorrect factually.
Are you a feminist?
Yeah, I consider myself a feminist, yeah.
Okay.
I think that saying all you have to do to be a woman is dress in women's attire and behave feminine is an insult to womanhood. That's what I think.
Who said that that's all you have to do to be a woman?
A lot of trans people.
Wait, what trans people do you know that say all you have to do is dress a certain way?
Well,
Who
I
fucking
saw
said that?
Well, I've seen pictures recently, a lot of them actually, of transgender women, in quotes, in bathrooms and shit, with boners, and they're huge, and they have beards, and they're like 6'2". They're towering all over these biological women that are like 5'3".
Wait, why are you looking at their boners in bathrooms?
Because they're popping up on my feed. Why do they have boners in women's bathrooms? Why are
I don't know, bro. Why are you looking at dudes' boners in women's bathrooms?
What did I just tell you? You're being bad
Look,
faith.
bro, maybe I don't know.
You want
Maybe
me to
just
pull
like
up here?
maybe just
I have no. It's
curate
fine.
your feed better. Like that's like, are you seriously thinking like if your algorithm is showing you like dudes
saw
who
it
are
on Twitter.
putting on
I saw it on
dresses with
Twitter.
boners in women's bathrooms, like I don't know, you might be getting fed rage bait.
Yeah, no, I saw that on Twitter. Multiple images.
Okay. So Twitter, the bastion of moderate thought, right?
What are you talking about? I'm seeing pictures, bro.
No, I know.
This
you know how
this
feeds
isn't an
work,
opinion.
right?
This isn't up for debate.
Wait, so how do you know that those people are trans people?
I saw a man in a woman's bathroom with a boner next to a child washing her hands.
Okay,
That
so
is
how do you
what
know
I
that
saw.
how do you know that
And
person was
that's
a trans
enough
person?
to turn me off of the entire community.
Okay, so how do you know that person was a trans person?
Because they had a boner, they had a dick.
Wait, so how do you know that they weren't just a dude?
So why is a dude dressing up in a dress with makeup on
Because
in
maybe
woman's
he's a
bathroom?
creep.
In a woman's exactly. This is what I'm telling you. It's anti-women because he's allowed.
Wait, no,
to
hold on. Wait, a dude.
You just proved my point for me because all he had to
Okay, I
do
don't
to say
think you
to get in
understand.
that woman's bathroom is dress in a dress. He didn't have
Justin,
to.
I don't know
he
if
didn't
you
have to
know,
shave
but
his
people can
stubble.
just walk
He didn't
into
have to do none of that.
bathrooms.
All he had to do
Justin,
was wear a dress. He didn't have
People,
to. Even,
you know that,
he didn't
Justin,
even
you know
have to
that you
present
can
as a
walk in,
female.
Justin, you know that you can walk
You lost.
into a woman.
You just
Justin,
proved
if you,
my point.
if you don't let me talk, I'm going to mute you.
You didn't let me.
You know that you can just walk into a woman's
You're
bathroom,
interrupting me.
not even wearing a dress, right?
You're interrupting me. You interrupted
You
my
haven't let me
point.
address anything that you're saying, so
Because
please,
you're
let
not
me
making
address-
any arguments. You're just talking.
I'm literally
nonsense.
making an argument right now. Please don't talk over me.
Let me finish. I was
You
talking
did.
first. No, I didn't.
Yes, you
forced
did.
yourself
You made a
into my
point.
answer.
Now I'm responding.
Okay,
Justin, how
respond
old are
to
you?
my point. Don't make a point of yourself. Respond to my point. Then.
Yes, the response is you don't know that he was a man, and that
What?
that he was a trans person rather. And I'm not done. You can walk into a woman's bathroom even if you don't wear a dress.
Okay, so do you think it's okay as me as a 6'5", 240-pound man to walk into a woman's bathroom?
There's no way you're 6'5" and 240 pounds, bro. By the way, how old are you? I have to check for TikTok.
I'm 19 years old, but I am.
What's your birth year?
July 20th, 2004.
Okay. It's just a TikTok policy. Anyway, what were you
Do you
saying?
think women would feel safe with me going into a bathroom? Do you think they'd feel like okay and comfortable?
I mean, maybe if you were being an asshole,
ask
sure.
any woman on earth. They don't feel comfortable with men in their spaces. So
One sec, let me go get my wife.
You can even look at the swim team with the trans girl that was ranked number 400 in the men's division. She was ranked 400. Now she's trans and she's ranked number 1. It's crazy. It's ridiculous.
One sec. She's on her way. And
Cool.
then you can ask her.
You have your wife as argument. That's still not.
Well, wait, hold on.
The majority
You asked
of women don't like that.
Justin. You said ask any woman.
I have
my
two
wife is a woman.
Okay, so if I have two sisters, would I
He might not care.
If both of my sisters say yes to my argument, will I be correct if I go ask them?
I mean, look, I was just doing what you asked, okay? You said ask any woman, I asked a woman.
That's fair, but it's also not because it doesn't make sense and it's not an argument.
Okay, so you don't actually care, do you?
Care about what?
About what she thinks.
That's disappointing.
What she thinks doesn't matter.
Okay,
It doesn't
yeah,
matter. Because women on a wide scale basis don't
So,
want men
Justin,
in the bathroom.
I just want to reiterate my point for the
disorders in their bathrooms.
So I want to reiterate my point just for the audience here. Let's please don't interrupt me.
You don't have
So
one.
you just said what she thinks doesn't matter. About 5 minutes ago, you claimed to be a feminist, my dude.
Exactly.
Do better.
I am a feminist. I like women's
my
rights.
ass. Nah,
I
you
like
hate women,
women's
dude.
rights.
You hate
I
women.
like women's
Sorry.
rights. Women's rights are cool. Yeah.
You hate women. You just don't care about what women think.
I don't like
Sorry.
trans women. Yes.
No, you just don't care about what women think, period. I just got an example.
Says who?
You did. You said that what she said doesn't matter.
It seems like you don't. Why do you think most states are voting against this?
I don't think that that's true.
What about Carrie Schucomer? A
What about her? Tell me.
68-year-old trans woman, and she speaks all the time. Her Twitter got like 600K followers, and she does all these shit, right? She's like, it's not acceptable for trans people to be in whatever bathroom they want to. She's a trans woman.
Okay. What about all of the trans people who disagree with her?
She's 60. Most of them don't. There's a lot of them that do agree with that.
I would bet you that most trans people want to be able to use the gender that they associate with.
Well, that bet, you can't make that bet because you don't have enough stats.
I would bet my life savings on that.
Well, it doesn't matter what you would do it then.
Wait, do you actually think that most trans people don't want to use the gender associated with, or the bathroom associated with their gender? Is that what you actually think?
Yes. I think because
Justin,
I have faith in humanity.
You're either delusional, stupid, or maybe you're just 19.
Socially unadept, and I think most of them understand societal norms, and this is just how it's been for all time.
So I mean, so just to reiterate, you don't care about what women think because you just literally said to my wife that it doesn't matter what she thinks. You literally said that. You also don't believe that trans people actually want to go into the bathroom that they want to go into. So I don't know, man. I think that A, you don't know anything about trans people, and B, you don't care about women.
Says who?
And it says you.
Says you.
No, you said those things.
But you're the one that hates women, though.
No, I love women.
You want predators
you saw my
in
wife,
women's
right?
bathrooms. You want men in women's bathrooms.
No, I want women in
so
women's
they can
bathrooms.
Be predators. You want predators in women's bathrooms. It's fine.
I want women in women's bathrooms. I guess you want predators,
but trans
that's
women
you, I
aren't
guess.
women. Trans women
they
aren't
are.
women. Says who?
I mean, trans is an adjective, and if it's
Says
so
who?
they're a trans woman, then they're a woman. Well, do you know that what an adjective is?
Transgender women aren't women. You can play word games.
Transgender is also an adjective.
Okay, so what's your point? Answer my question.
So if adjectives modify the noun,
why are you calling them
did you
women?
learn that in high school?
Why are you feeding them into their delusion?
It's not a delusion.
Yes, it is. It is a delusion. If you think you're something you're not, that's the definition.
Justin, if it was a delusion, why isn't it in the DSM-5?
I don't trust the government nor the DSM.
Do you even know who writes the DSM-5?
The government owns the DSM.
No, the government doesn't own the
Yes, it
DSM.
does. The government.
No, it doesn't. It's
Okay,
the American
let's pick
Psychiatric
this up
Association, my
for
guy.
both of us.
The DSM is the American Psychiatric Association.
And who owns them?
They're like an organization of psychiatrists. Like what?
Who are they owned by?
They're not owned by anybody. They're just psychologists. Sorry, not psychiatrists.
They're not, huh?
No, they're not owned by the government.
They're not. They're
No,
part
they're
of the NIH, though. They're a branch of the NIH.
They're not. No, they're an independent. Like, wait. Okay,
They're not.
so Justin,
It's not an.
I'm gonna be really honest with you. Like,
You're
it sounds
incorrect.
like you're
not
just
an independent organization. You're wrong.
Wait, yes, they are. They
I'm
literally
reading this
are.
on the NIH right now.
So, okay, go look up the American Psychological or Psychiatric
Already did.
Association.
Already did.
Okay,
And
what does it
I'm
say?
on the NIH.
What does it say? What does it say?
The American Psychiatric Association is a medical specialty society that represents nearly 36,000 psychiatrists
Okay.
from the United States.
So where
and
does it say that
Canada,
they're not independent?
because they're owned and operated by the NIH.
Where does it say that?
When you scroll down, you can see it, and it's on
Okay,
the
so
NIH
read it to me,
website.
please. Read it to me, please.
Well, it's a very long article, but
So where did it? So read out the part where it says that.
I'm sure you can do your own research.
Wait a minute. So are you just lying to me?
How, dude? Okay.
Wait. So you said that you saw it. That on the website it says that they are owned and operated by the NIH or whatever.
Yeah.
So read that part to me, please.
So it's not a part. If you actually had a brain where you can think, you would understand that the American Psychiatric Association is ran by 3 people: Alan Tasman, Stephen Sharfstein, and Michael Reba. All of them work for the NIH. Every single one of them, and they're all.
So the president is Rebecca W. Brendel. That's the president of
that's
the.
president, but they're not. So what are you talking about?
I'm talking about the American Psychiatric Association. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the same thing you are.
Okay, so who are these people? Because I just told you who the president is, and it wasn't any of the 3 people you just mentioned.
These people were the presidents of the NIH.
They're not anymore.
Exactly,
like-
but it doesn't matter. The thing was built off of the NIH.
No, it wasn't. It's
Yes, it
literally
was.
like it's a non-profit organization that doesn't work for the government. Justin,
it's publicly
Justin,
funded by the government.
it's publicly funded by a lot of things.
By the government.
Who cares?
By the government. The
Wait,
government
Justin, do you know that all? Wait, do you not trust any? Wait, Justin, do you not trust anything that's funded by the government?
To shorten your answer, no, I don't trust
Justin,
the government at all.
okay, so you don't drive on public roads, right?
I don't trust the government at all.
Do you drive on public roads?
Sometimes.
Okay, so you trust the government. Do you go to school?
No, I don't trust the government.
Do you go to school?
No.
So wait, you didn't go to any school at all? You've never been educated?
I went to school.
Okay, so then you trust the government. Okay, do you
I don't trust the
use
government.
any
How does
public
that make sense?
do you use any public
How
utilities?
does that make sense? Your point doesn't stand.
Because
having
you're
do
like to
something-
say that anything
I
that's funded
have
by
to
the
go to
government,
school.
Justin.
The difference
Justin,
is I have to go to school. You have
Justin,
to.
do you have a cell phone?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Okay, did you know that telecom companies are funded by the government?
Of course, everything is.
So why do you why do you have a cell phone then, man?
It doesn't mean I don't trust the government. What's your point?
You cannot trust the government. So
you need
Justin,
things like
maybe you
this
didn't understand.
to function in a. We live in a society, right? I know you
You're
don't.
right.
think
We
so.
live in a society,
We
and
live
so
in this
organizations
valuable,
like the American
purified
Psychiatric
system,
Association
but we
have
don't.
to be
We live in a
funded by
society
the
full of
government.
people. So
Justin,
to
Justin,
actually
Justin,
live in a
please.
society,
Justin,
you have
I
to
know
do
that your
things even if you
testosterone
don't
is
support or
raging
want
through
to
your
do
little
these
teenage
things.
mind right now, but chill, okay?
So we all live in a society, so we have to.
Justin.
I have to drive on a public road. I have to use a cell phone.
Justin.
These things I have to do.
Justin,
What? Like,
you're at like an 11.
no, I'm not.
You
You're
should be
just
like a
feminine.
6.
You just never talked to a man with testosterone in your life. It's never happened.
Justin, the
You're not used
testosterone
to
that is currently
masculine
flowing
men.
through your blood
It's not a common
is
theme in your life
Justin.
to have masculine men.
Justin,
look
the
at
testosterone that's flowing through your blood
You're-
is like
look at
6
myself,
months old.
bro.
I know it's new to you, my guy. I know it's
Look
new
at
for
you
you.
compared to me.
I'm so sorry. My voice
You're not
voice
even
is
talking
like
masculine
an
men, it's
octave
fine,
lower than
bro.
yours, and your balls just dropped yesterday, and you're complaining about how you're
Look at how you
you're
sound.
a real man.
You
Come on,
sound
do
like
better.
a female, bro. You sound like an actual female. Like the tone of your voice, you sound
The
like a
only
woman.
people who say
Maybe you're
female
trans, bro.
instead
Maybe
of
that's it.
women
Maybe I am
are
wrong.
people who are
Maybe
afraid of
trans
women.
people do exist. Maybe you're trans. Maybe they do exist. You're a prime example of a feminine man. Maybe that's what a trans person is.
Yep. I'm the most feminine man.
You are.
Definitely,
You are pretty
definitely very feminine.
You talk with like
Says
a
the
valley
19-year-old
accent.
whose balls just dropped. You can
You're,
do better,
you're,
Justin.
you're either gay
Okay, Justin,
or
let's
trans.
actually wait. You met my wife, Justin. Okay, so let's
Yeah,
let's
your wife.
tone
Your
things down.
wife
Okay.
looked like a dude to me. Your wife looked like an awful lot like a dude to me.
Justin.
She might be trans too.
Justin, so
Who knows?
is your mom alive?
Yeah, of course. Is yours? Is your father in your family in your life?
So does your mother know that you're like a shit human?
Does your father know you get pegged by your wife?
Justin, it's one thing to have a spicy conversation with somebody that you're talking to, man to man, right? It's a very different thing to
You're not a
insult
man.
someone's
You're
wife.
not a man. I wouldn't call you a man.
Justin,
wife's
you
a
will
dude.
come to nothing. Your life will be meaningless. No one will ever love you.
Your wife's a
Your
dude.
friends hate you. They
That's
think
why
you're
you're old with
annoying.
no
They
kids.
only
You have
tolerate you
kids.
because they
You
knew
need
you
to
in middle
submit your life
school
to God.
when you were a
You're
decent
not even a holy
kid.
person
I'm
doing
sorry.
the Bible.
You'll have a bad life and you're going to die
Your
alone.
life is filled with nothing but nonsense.
19-year-olds, man.
So I'm actually not here to do an ad read right
Please.
now.
Go ahead.
I'm not actually. I specifically joined
No, I
because
know.
I kind of had wanted the opportunity because I've never actually spoken to a 1-year-old, 19-year-old before. And
Oh, is he in the box? I can bring him back. Justin, if you want to get in the box and talk to somebody who's 3 times the man as you, feel free to.
so I was just really, really curious about that. But you know,
No, he's probably like punching his wall right now.
yeah, I should let you go back to guests, and we'll come in for a regularly scheduled ad break a little later.
Oh, yeah, he's not in the box. He ran away. Bummer. All right. All right, I'll catch you later. Blitzy going to be crying all week. I'm not even going to remember him in 30 minutes, honestly. I think Jack Dell wanted to come in and talk down to a child.
I just wanted to come in because that was just so goofy. It was just so goofy.
I know.
What a little goober.
He's a poor guy. I mean, we can't be too mad. He was 19. But anyway,
his brain, so like his brain isn't fully developed. So like,
yeah,
maybe
we can't be too mad
for him.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna go back to talking to adults. Have a good one, man. All right, let's talk to Don't Want Juice.
Professing themselves
Hey,
as
how's it
wise.
goes? You there?
Jesus Christ is coming back very soon, and you are going to burn in an inferno.
So don't want juice. Do you love trans people?
No, I do not.
Do you hate women?
No, I do not.
I mean, I don't know. Those things are mutually exclusive. You can't not love trans people and also not hate women.
Yeah, well, trans men aren't real women, so delusion is not reality.
You're right. Wait, so you do love trans people? You're right. Trans men aren't real women. 100%. You're on the money. I'm glad you've joined the agenda,
Can a
my
man
guy.
get pregnant?
Welcome to the LGBTQ.
Can a man get pregnant?
Sometimes, yeah.
Can you get pregnant?
No, I can't. I have a penis.
So why can't you get pregnant if men can get pregnant?
Well, because I have a penis.
So men can't get pregnant.
Some of them can.
No, they can't get pregnant. If you can't get
Yeah, they
pregnant,
can.
men cannot get pregnant because trans men are not
But
men.
I have a penis.
They are women with vaginas and ovaries, and they will never be men. You, on the other hand, are more close to a woman than a trans woman is, in my opinion. You're closer to a woman than a trans woman. If a woman thinks she's a man, you're closer to being a woman than she is. I really do. I really do think that, and I think honestly,
Are you also 19?
Fluoride.
Hold on, I just got to double check. Are you also 19?
You are. There's too much fluoride in your.
Hey,
water.
you should stop over talking.
You
to
should
answer the
stop
question.
trying to deceive people.
Don't want juice.
Think
Don't
that
want juice.
People can
Don't want juice.
inverse
Hold
their
on.
gender.
Juice.
You need to
juice.
stop because it's
Juice.
wicked and evil.
Juice.
Okay.
Are you also 19?
What is my age after the topic of discussion?
Well,
Why
because
are
if
you
you're
talking
19,
about
then I can
argument?
understand
Why
the
are
roid
you
rage.
evading the argument?
No, I just got to check to make sure you're allowed to be on TikTok.
Transphobes hate women.
Juice.
I love women.
Juice.
I hate trans people.
Juice.
What about it?
I have to ask because of TikTok guidelines.
No, I'm 35 with 3 kids. Is that what you want me to say? I own a farm.
Okay,
I
sure.
work on
That's
land.
that's good.
Trans women are not.
So you're not just
women,
a
trans
baby.
men are not
You're
men.
just an asshole. Got it.
Well, where's your argument at?
Well, you hate women and
I
trans
love
people.
women.
Actually,
I hate trans.
I don't think you love women at all. Are you a feminist?
Elaborate on that.
Yeah. Are you a feminist?
No.
Okay. There you go. You hate women. Easy.
How is that make me a women hater? How?
You don't want women to have what men have. Easy.
So I don't want women to go around and live in an adultery lifestyle to where they're ran through, they hate themselves, and they don't procreate.
So you want to control what women do with their body. Got it. You hate women.
Alone. Oh, please, God forgive me for caring about women so they have a loving husband, a
Yeah, so
godly
when
husband,
you
and
say
a family.
caring about women,
God
you
forbid
mean
women have
you
family
don't
and strong husbands. God forbid.
Juice.
Listen,
When you say
you are
juice,
a product
hey,
of
juice,
an indoctrinated generation.
Juice. Do you want to have a conversation where we both talk, or do you just want to like ramble? Because if you
Go
just
ahead.
want to ramble, I can just go play some video games while you do that for 5 minutes.
What's your argument? What is your real argument?
Yeah, okay. So my argument is that you don't call yourself a feminist, which is already a red flag, but fine, maybe you have problems with the lingo or whatever. But then you're saying, yeah, we don't want our women to go have sex and die alone. Like you just want to control women's bodies. That's what it boils down to.
No, I want the best possible thing for the human race. And adultery is the opposite direction if you want an actual society that can function with morality.
Wait, so you think that telling people what they can and can't do with their own body is a good way to have morality?
Name one society that women went around being whores and were praised for it. Not a single society has done
Wait,
that.
America! Literally, America is the most powerful nation on
When it
earth.
happened in Rome and Greece, what happened? They fell because they got obsessed with gender.
Wait, Rome was the most powerful nation for 1,000 years.
And people like you are going to burn for what you're doing.
Juice. Rome was the most powerful nation for 1,000 years. It was
And when
the
it got
largest
obsessed with
empire
gender,
that ever
it fell,
existed.
just like Greece.
Wait, it didn't even fall. It lasted
Of course it
till,
didn't.
like,
It turned to the Roman
1400s.
Catholic Church. And now what happened? Now everyone's trans.
Wait.
Everyone's LGBTQ. I'm a bird. I'm a cat. No, you're not. You're not a bird. You're not another gender. You're not bi.
So do you know what
you're one
trans
gender.
people are?
Yo, I can't believe people like
Wait,
you
are you from
actually
Ohio?
exist. The fact
Are you
that
from
people
Ohio?
like you are walking around in the same land that I am occupying is mind-boggling. You are literally a government bootlicking shill, and you are an Agent Smith. You are an Agent Smith of the agenda, and you are defending it with your life, and you are going to die defending this agenda. But little do you know, there's an entire world waiting beyond this one, and Jesus Christ is going to judge you for everything you've done with your platform. 100%. You need to know that, because there's no way to the Father except for him.
Juice. I'm really good, but do you happen to be from Ohio?
Bro, why do you keep asking me?
Wait, are you actually from Ohio though?
Bro, what is with these random personal questions?
It's just because somebody in the comments mentioned something and I thought it'd be funny.
Can we please?
Yeah. So your entire ideology is something along the lines of Jesus tells us that trans people are evil, and so therefore I have to hate women. Like that's your whole thing.
Jesus
so I don't know why I should care about
are
that.
Sinners, and they're deceived by evil spirits, and they need
Wait a
to
minute.
turn to
Where
him so he can
in the Bible
absolve
does it
them.
say trans people are sinners?
Okay, well, people that lie with another man or put on garments that a man as a woman would wear
Okay,
are sinners
cite the
and
verse.
wicked.
Cite the verse about putting on garments.
I don't have the exact verse. Look, go in Leviticus.
What a great Christian
all
you are.
Leviticus, a man shall not lie with another man as lie with a woman. It's abomination.
Yeah, what does that have to do with trans people?
Okay, so if you're trans, right, you want to become a woman, and you're going to use the argument, well, they could be a gay trans person. If you want to be a woman, you want to get with a man because you want a vagina to have sex with a man.
Wait, do you think that gay people
you're
don't
even more
exist?
Confused.
Wait, so like gay trans people exist, and you know
Exactly.
about this.
They're even more confused because
are gay trans people against the Bible?
No, they're regular people that are confused. They're sinners. Just like I'm a sinner.
Why are they sinners?
Just like
What did they
you're a
sin? What
sinner,
sin did they
just
do?
like everyone in this chat is a sinner. Trans people are
Juice?
sinners, and they need a savior
Juice,
who is Jesus
what
Christ.
sin did
It's
they
that
do?
simple.
What sin did they do?
Adultery, wickedness.
What if they haven't slept around?
It doesn't matter. Even if they weren't transgendered, you're missing the point. Even if you're
just everybody's a sinner. Okay, so then, Juice, why does it matter if they're trans or not? They're a sinner anyway.
Listen, just because you're transgender doesn't mean you can't get to heaven. Just because you're born gay,
so then why do you care about
it? Get to heaven. But the point of it is you don't celebrate wickedness. You're not supposed to glorify.
But you haven't told me why being trans is wicked.
The same reason being homosexual is wicked. The same reason being a liar is wicked.
Maybe you could make an argument about
is wicked because it doesn't progress. It doesn't progress society. It does not progress society.
Sin is defined in the Bible, is it not?
What?
Is sin defined in the Bible? Like it tells you what the sins are?
As evil, yes. It's the inverse of good.
Right. Okay, so it'll say things like you can't lie with the man as you would another woman. Fine. So maybe in the Bible being gay is evil, right? Where does it say anything about like being trans? It doesn't. It doesn't say it. It's not a sin. It's not wicked. It's just not according to the Bible.
When it says in the Bible that a man cannot put on a woman's garment,
where does it say that?
It says it in there. You can look it up. I don't know the exact verse.
Give me the verse, please.
Look this up. It's in there. I've read it.
Give me the verse.
That is a sin. So when you put on a wig and nails and drag,
so if they get surgery, but don't wear women's clothes, it's fine, right?
Dude, that's even worse. You're mutilating the body of God. The temple.
Where does it say that they're not? Wait. So are we not allowed to get surgery? Period. Oh, he was banned. That's a bummer. Hey, what did you want to? You probably wanted to come on to talk to him, huh?
Actually, in this case, I wanted to come in for a It's time for an ad read because now you're up to 1,000 viewers, so it seemed appropriate.
Sure, fire away.
Hello. As the definitely real human sibling of that Blitz PhD, I have a sex and gender that was not established through market research. I'm here to encourage the listeners to support the live via subscribing, gifts, his Patreon and or other options listed on his link tree in his bio, to help ensure that more spicy conversations like this happen. As we've been repeatedly told by guests, humans live in a society, and society is expensive. So if you don't have the money to support the channel financially, you can like the live, comment, and share the live and his videos. Whatever sins we have committed, as brought by the most recent guests, we can all come together and enjoy listening to these lives and use the energy from these to keep ourselves going forward and refill our battery reserves. Now, in the meantime, I'm going to conserve power and energy and leave this live so more guests can come on.
Thank you, totally real human brother. It's a bummer that he left, but, you know, that the other guy left. All right, we have a lot of guests today. Maybe this was a good background to have, getting a lot of people on who... All right. Yeah, my brother could narrate audiobooks. He has a good voice. He has a radio voice. Yeah, I just saw Deuteronomy 22:5. It's funny that he doesn't know it. Tazayan, how's it going?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Yes. I'm fine.
So,
I'm good. Everything's fine there.
Right. Do you love trans people?
How? How can I love the trans people? Even I think that they are artificial people.
Yeah. Do you?
Yeah, I hate the trans people because they are.
Oh, so you just hate trans people? Okay. Do you?
I don't
love
think
women?
that they. Yes, because they are original. That means original.
So would you say that you're? Would you say that
I love a real woman.
Would you say that you're pro-choice?
What does that mean?
The ability to get an abortion.
Yeah, because I love women because they are original. They born woman. They trans woman. How?
Wait, is there
impossible?
Tazayan, is there a delay? I'm going to say the number 1. Oh, yeah, there is. I'm sorry. The delay. There's a delay and an echo. It looks like. Can you hear me? There is.
No.
Okay. Yeah, no, I got to let you go. That was a really long delay. I'm sorry. talk to Cindy Nunez. Hey, Cindy,
Yes,
how's it going?
Nunez. It's going
Nunez?
good. How
Okay,
are
it's not
you today?
Nunez. I'm doing all right. Do you love trans people?
I love all people, to be honest.
So do you love trans people?
If you consider yourself a human, I love you, yes.
Okay, so you love trans people?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Then awesome. Then I guess you don't need to be here.
Well, I do want to put the part, there was a question that you were asking the man earlier about men, specifically men having a child. The way I look at it is biology. You have to have the right biology to be able to carry a human baby. And I don't care.
And men can have that biology sometimes. In fact, like there are a lot of men who can have that biology.
You say men. Are you talking about the male species? Or are you talking about
men and male aren't the same thing.
No, they're not.
And by the way, male and female are not separate species.
No, we're all human. But I mean, you were asking a specific question about a male or a man. You're talking about the male species of the human race, correct?
It's not a species, it's just a sex.
Okay, then we'll go back, we'll say human race. We are considered a species. We are not in the animal species, are we? We're not in the insect species, are we?
We are animals. We are animals.
We are mammals.
Homo sapien is a species. Male is a sex.
Oh, you just said it yourself. You just said it yourself. We are a species. Thank you for correcting yourself.
Yes, males are not a species.
You're part of the human species, okay?
Yes.
Is that
you and I
better?
are both. You and I are the same species.
Correct. But there are two.
Males are not a species. Male, it's not like a type of species. It's not like a type of, like it's a sex, not a species.
Okay, well then let's cut the species, race, all that. When you were born, by your biology, you were considered a male. When you were born, you were considered female because of your biology, correct?
Well, I wasn't, but some people are, yeah.
Well, I do have a friend of mine that was born both male and female.
Okay.
She had all equipment for both genders.
Oh, well, sexes, sure. Okay. What about it?
No, sex is what. Let's not go with sex or anything like that. We're talking about biology, what it's called.
Yes, it's called sex in biology. It's called sex. Male and female are sex.
Okay, if you consider them sex, whatever.
That's the word. That is the technical word for the type of thing.
Okay, fine.
For the category.
I understand. Okay. The female sex and the male sex, there are two different types of organ in the body that creates those two different sexes, correct?
I mean, simplistically, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
There's a lot of factors involved, but yeah, that's fine.
Okay, well, thank you for dumbing it down for me. I have no problem with trans people. I have no trouble with people being lesbian or a male being gay. I'm not going to use any other term other than male being gay. And I do have lesbian friends. I have a nephew that is gay. I don't hate any of these people. But what I do hate about the trans men that are turning into women is they still try to push their male I just lost the thought of the word, their perspective of what it is to be a woman on a woman by telling us that we're not as good as they are because they've decided to become a woman. You're still in the human race, so you're still just as equal as I am. You're not better.
Wait, and are you saying that you're bothered by like trans women who say we're more woman than you are or something like that?
Yes, because nobody is better than the other.
Okay, so I've never heard anybody say that. If somebody said that, then yeah, they're an asshole.
Okay, I have. I've seen plenty of videos on here.
Okay, but recognize that your algorithm is feeding you rage bait.
I understand that. but I don't go to their lives or I don't say anything. The only thing my point I'm trying to make is when it came to sexes, the male sex has testicles and a penis. The female sex has ovaries and a uterus. Okay.
Yep.
Yes, most of the time, because I know God can also create a human that has
but for the most part, yeah, it's fine.
For the most part. So when you say a man can get pregnant, no, the male sex cannot get pregnant unless they have a uterus or ovaries. A trans man, okay? But what I'm getting at is...
Which is a man. A trans man is a man. It's a type of man.
He was a female and turned into a male?
No, he's a female who is a man.
Okay, let me say this. At birth, was he considered the male sex or the female sex?
He is a female. Sex? He is a female and a man.
Okay, that's my problem, is when it comes to people saying, a man, I see he identifies as a man, I respect his decision and everything else. But when it comes to sex, female sex are the only sex that can carry a child. How he sees himself
everybody
today,
agrees with that. Everybody agrees with that.
Not everybody agrees with that.
Literally everybody agrees that females are the only ones who can give birth. Literally everyone agrees with that.
But there have been a lot of people that I've seen in other videos that will sit here and argue with people saying, no, men can get pregnant too.
Yes, they can. I just showed you an example of one.
He was born female, correct?
And he's a man. Those are not incongruous. You can be a female and be a man at the same time.
He identifies as a man.
The fact that you're using the word he means that this person's a man.
Exactly. He is a man. But when you want to get down to biology...
Who is a female. Right.
Then why can't the trans people say, okay, I was born a female, I transed into a male, and I became pregnant?
They didn't trans to a male. They are a trans man. So, look, okay, if you go to any of these, there are a bunch of trans people who did lives. If you go there, at least if you go to Haley's, a few people, and you say, are you a male or a female? They'll just tell you. You'll have trans women who are males and trans men who are females. They'll just tell you. They're like, yeah, I'm this, I'm that, whatever. It's like everybody knows what their biological sex is. They're not claiming to be the different biological sex. They're claiming to be a different gender.
Exactly. They're claiming to be a different gender.
Right. So you can be a man and also be female.
You will have some people that will sit here and argue with you because they've decided to become male or female, that all of a sudden that they just try to get everything confused. I mean, kind of like, I see him as a male. I understand as he sees himself as a male, he became pregnant and gave birth.
Wait, okay, so maybe
the
you're just reading it wrong. Yeah, no, I understand that. Maybe it's just the words are confusing or something. And I'm sorry, that was really poorly phrased. I'm not trying to say you're dumb or anything. It might just be a mix up in terminology.
Exactly.
But I don't think that there are any trans people who are saying they're not the sex that they were born as. If you can find me one example, that'd be a delight, but I don't think that there are any.
Well, I can't say there aren't any, and I can't say there are some, because I can't go back to these video feeds or pictures and all this to prove my point. But I'm just saying, the things that I have read, the things that I have seen on here, it's not just people like me that are straight that get these things confused. I say straight because, I'm sorry, maybe I worded it wrong, but I see myself as a female. I was born female.
You are a female, presumably. I don't know what's in your genes, but...
I used to have an ovaries and I used to have a uterus and I have 3 kids. So I see myself as female.
Then you're probably female.
Exactly. Thank you. So you just clarified I am female.
Yeah.
I don't see myself as a male. I don't see myself as
being a male or
any
female
other
isn't
sex.
it's not a choice.
I agree. It's not.
You either are male or you're female. It's kind of the same way with being trans, actually. It's not really a choice. You either are or you aren't.
Exactly. I do believe that some people are born in the wrong body, mentally born into the wrong physical body that they are in.
So then what's the problem?
Like I said, my problem is that you have a lot of the trans people, women that have transed into women, that still have that mindset of, I am a woman, okay? And they want to be called a woman. Exactly. They are. Exactly. That's what I just said.
So what's wrong with them wanting that?
Nothing. Can I get to my point?
Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry. I thought that was the point. Okay. My bad.
Thank you. But you have these trans women that insist that they are women, and I believe that they are women. But yet when it comes down to the sex, the female woman that is like me, female all her life, and I understand the terms that they use. I'm not calling you trans. I don't know what your life is, so I'm not going to assume it. Okay, you have a penis, but I don't know that you identify as a woman or a man. I'm not getting into that. I don't worry about your lifestyle, okay?
Okay.
But for women that were born and have grown up as women, we have I have a problem. I'm not going to group all women into this, but I have a problem with, and I've ran into this in my personal life, that trans women want to be called she, her, and all these other terms that go along with being trans. But
that goes along with being a woman, right?
Exactly. Can I get to my point?
Yes.
Okay,
please.
thank you. I have been confronted with trans women that I do call she, her, whatever, as she sees herself. But as respect, I do not want to be called a cis woman. Why can't they just say a woman? I mean, before all this trans became out in public for the public to be able to learn about these things, they automatically throw this word in front of woman. Why? Why must they identify us as cis women? I understand all the terminology and everything else, but why can't they be respectful to a woman that is still a woman, that has been born to be a woman and everything? Why can't they just call us women?
They can. You can call them women too.
They can.
Yeah. No, so here's the thing. The reason why trans and cis is there at all is to recognize that there is a distinction, right? Trans women and cis women are different. You know, they have different biology. And so we use adjectives to elucidate on that distinction. So when you're talking about things like gender, it's useful to identify your gender, and if you're talking about if you're talking about trans people, or if you're having a conversation about trans inclusion or whatever, it's useful to identify whether you're trans or not. And so if you're not trans, then you're cis. It'd be like saying what would be a good example of this? It'd be like saying if you're I don't want to use an example that's super inflammatory. It'd be like saying if you and I are talking about religion, right? I'm Jewish. And,
okay, well, I want to bring religion into this.
No. I'm just using this as an example. I promise this isn't inflammatory. Let's say me and a Christian are talking about religion, right? I'm Jewish, they're Christian. And I say, well, I'm a Jewish guy and you're a Christian guy. And they say, well, why are you calling me Christian? Why don't you just call me a guy? Because they're the common ones, right? So it's all it's a word, it's an adjective used to distinguish between people. It's just an adjective.
But that's my point. They expect me to respect what they wish, and they want me to call them whatever it is they want them to call me. But if I ask them not to use cis woman when they refer to me, they get irate and continue to call me a cis woman, even though I've asked you to respect my wishes as to be called just a woman. Don't ask cis.
So the point is so.
And I'm talking to someone in their face. When you hear
cis, what do you think?
My sister. Okay, I mean honestly, that's what I think. When you see, when I hear the word cis,
when you read the words CIS, what do you think?
I don't think that terminology is what I'm saying. If you come to me,
do you know what it means?
Biological female.
Well, it means that your gender is the one that you were assigned at birth. I'm a cis man, for example. You're a cis woman. Then there are trans women and trans men. It's an adjective, right? Like blue is an adjective, tall is an adjective, blonde is an adjective, cis is an adjective. It's just an adjective. It's its own separate word. It goes in front of a word to describe the word.
And I'm reading some of the comments that are being made.
They're going to be terrible. I always tell guests never read the comments. It's not going to end well. It's not worth it.
I'm just saying that trans people want us to respect them as they see themselves. Yes, you can call me she and her and whatever goes along with that female sex, okay? I have no problem with that. And I have no problem with calling you however you want me to perceive you. But why do they insist on calling us cis? Just call them women. I mean, why do we have to get in? Go ahead.
So would you be okay not using the word trans to describe trans women?
If a woman, someone that appeared to be a woman, walks up to me and starts talking to me, I don't think of trans. I don't think of cis. All I think of is that is a woman.
Right. So the thing is the only time people use the words cis and trans is when the distinction matters, when it actually matters for the conversation that you're having, right? And I mean, it has utility. For example, let's say that you're having a conversation with a trans person and they're trying to relate some experience to you and they don't know. So they ask, are you trans or are you cis? They're not it's relevant to the conversation, whether you're trans or whether you're cis, right? It's relevant to the conversation. But for everyday interactions, people aren't going to just randomly call you a cis woman. They'll just be like, you're just a woman, because it's not relevant for the conversation. The point is sometimes it matters though. When you're actually having conversations, it matters what you are, right? Just like how it matters that I'm Jewish in some conversations. It matters that I'm white in some conversations, right? These are things that matter. So we use adjectives.
I understand we use adjectives, okay, and that's fine. But only in certain conversations does trans or cis even need to be brought up. You know, I mean, if I'm talking to someone that I think that is a woman, I'm not going to say, before we go on with this conversation, are you cis or are you trans? I mean, that's not everyday life.
Exactly,
that's not everyday life.
Right.
But when you go... Okay, but when you go and you're speaking to a woman and you're talking and they constantly tell you, oh, you're a cis woman. Yes, I understand. I am a biological woman. I see myself as a woman, but I prefer you not to call me a cis woman. Just please. That's not an adjective I wanted added to my name. But they insistently in the conversation keep calling me a cis woman, even though I've asked them not to. Just like I'm not going to sit there and on this certain, conversation we have, and every time I talk about a woman, say, oh yeah, you're a trans woman. To me, that doesn't matter. Why do the trans people seem to want to push that down our throats that they are a trans woman? I understand the biology of it. I understand.
I don't think they want to push that down your throat. I don't think they want you to constantly be thinking about the fact that they're trans. But in certain conversations, it matters, right?
I understand that, but when you're having a conversation with a person, okay, and you've already recognized that I'm a cis and you're a trans, but you constantly insist on calling me a cis woman, even though I've asked you not to, just call me a woman. They proceed to call me a cis woman. I don't call them trans. I call them a woman. I don't add that in front of it because, okay, biologically, they're not cis. So I'm not going to replace that and say, okay, but you are a trans woman. You are a trans woman. Well, as a trans female, I mean, that's just not everyday talk. And I've had trans women come and just insist that every time they speak about something like that, it is a cis woman. I know you're talking about me. You don't have to add that in there. You know that about me. So why do you continuously use that word in a conversation?
So I understand the feeling, but can I perhaps give an analogy as to why it might
Sure, go ahead.
be reason why it at least might make sense for the people who are doing it. So like, let's say that you're talking about race with somebody. I'm a white, or let's say I'm talking about race with race. I'm a white guy. At least I look white anyway. I look white anyway. I look white anyway. They're saying that I'm a white guy to suggest that my experience is different from theirs, to emphasize that.
And I understand that. And once she says that I am a cis woman and she is a trans woman and her experiences are different from mine, I acknowledge, okay, you're a trans woman. But that shouldn't be brought up again because in my conversation with her, I see her as equal woman.
Okay, so all I'm getting at is that it can seem, I think it's used for emphasis quite frequently to try to suggest that, like, hey, consider the position that you're coming from because of the situation that you're in.
I'm still here. It's just,
no, it's fine.
I understand that situations can be different with everybody, and yes, it has been different with other trans women. That once, we recognize that that she is trans and I am cis, then that is never brought up again in the conversation. But you do have those that are out there that constantly want to put that in front of a woman, even though it's already been identified. Yes, we are different in biology when it comes to our insides, our outsides, whatever. That's fine. But for me, it should no longer be part of the conversation unless they're talking about an experience they have, as being a trans person and me being a biological woman. I understand that. But I'm saying that there are people out there that insist on calling me cis, even though I've asked them not to, that it doesn't matter in my conversation unless you want to go back and say, as a cis woman, you haven't experienced this. Okay, I agree. As a cis woman, I have not experienced the same thing as a trans woman. But it's the point that they constantly want to call you cis, even though you've asked them not to. And I'm not talking about, on here, people identifying themselves, well, I am a cis woman. That's fine. You're trying to get this out in the open to let them know you did not experience the same thing they have as a trans woman. But it's just, why can't I be a woman and why can't you be a woman unless you want to tell me that you're trans? Don't, because I'm a woman, just automatically put cis in front of it because, at one point, I know, go ahead.
I think the only reason that the only conversations that this happens in are conversations about the trans experience, right?
Right. And that's the only time it should be brought up. After that, when you say woman, I'm thinking of you as a woman and you're thinking of me as a woman because it's been pronounced, I am who I am. So we can drop the cis and we can drop the trans unless you are saying as a trans experience, then that is relevant. But if you're
talking about the trans experience, isn't it always relevant?
But you get what I'm getting at. Trans people, I know they will in a conversation, because I have many friends that are trans. Like I said, I have a nephew that is gay. I have my best friend from elementary school. She is gay. I mean, I'm around people, and I know not all trans people are gay. I understand that part of it too. But it's just the part where some, and I'm not saying all trans people are like this, but there are some in the trans community that insist on calling a woman a cis woman when it doesn't matter. And even if they've asked, okay, I identify as a woman, you do too, so we know this, you don't have to call me cis anymore, unless it's irrelevant to a particular part of our conversation. But I have experienced that there are some trans out there that even after I say, you don't have to say cis, just call me a woman, they insist on putting that behind every time they say or refer to me as cis woman.
So all I can say is I don't understand why it bothers you at all. But if it does, all I can say is if you're in a conversation that's happening, just leave the conversation.
Okay, well, then why does it bother the trans people so much if they're a trans woman, if I keep calling him he? If I keep calling him him?
Because that's incorrect.
Incorrect because they are trans, not incorrect because of sex. You get my point?
Yeah, but he and him doesn't refer to
line.
sex, it refers to gender. You can go look up grammatical gender if you'd like, but pronouns refer to grammatical gender, not like biological sex, so.
Okay. I guess my point is just, I don't know. I'll just let someone else speak, okay? Because,
Okay.
I mean, I've tried to explain how I feel and why is it constantly being shoved down our throats as cis people that we are cis people. Just call us a man. Just call us a woman unless you need to identify yourself as trans. And then just continue to call me a woman.
Can I just like ask, and this can just be the final thing, it's up to you if you want to stick around. Do you think that somebody calling you cis is the same as you misgendering them? Do you think that they're like equally bad?
In one way, yes, and in one way, no. I mean, you're not going to you're not going to misidentify me if you call me a she, because I look like a she. And if that person looks like a she, then that's what I will call them, unless they tell me, no, I identify as him. Because there are some trans men out there that still look like women. I mean, I'm not going to lie.
Sorry,
there are.
I meant intentionally. Like if somebody intentionally calls you a cis woman, is that as bad as you intentionally calling them the gender that they're not?
Yes, it is. To me, it is. Yes, because I'm just a woman.
Okay, but you understand that in one case, the description is accurate, and in the other case, the description is inaccurate.
If I purposely, on purpose was the key word, misidentify that person, then all they have to do is say, I am, whatever. Like I just said, I have.
Well, but if you did it on purpose, you wouldn't care, presumably.
Exactly. But if you misidentify somebody mistakenly, then they can correct you.
Yeah, I'm not like mistaken. Things happen. Like mistakes happen. I'm asking, should you be equally as offended when someone calls you a cis woman as a trans woman should be when somebody calls them a man? On purpose.
No, that's not the same, because a cis woman is biologically a female woman, okay? And then a trans person, people that purposely identify a trans woman as he or him, and they do it purposely, that person is wrong. You should not be doing that.
Sure. Okay. Then I think that we're in agreement there, at least.
At least on that part of it, right. I mean, once you tell me what you prefer to be called, I will call you that. But don't constantly call me cis if it's not relevant to our conversation. Don't walk up to me and say, hey, you're a cis woman, aren't you? Because I'm sure in the hell not going to walk up to a trans woman and say, hey, you're a trans, aren't you? To me, that is impolite. It is disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if I see a woman in the store, I'm not going to walk up to her, even though I'm not sure if she is or isn't. I'm not going to walk up to her and say, "Hey, you're a trans woman, aren't you? I thought I could pick you out of the crowd."
Well, people do that for what it's worth, but look, I guess I'm just not like offended by the term cis, and I don't understand why you are. But if you are, then just move yourself out of the conversation, because it's not a slur.
If we're trying to get things biology correct, but if I ask you to call me a woman, then call me a woman. I mean, just like if a trans person asks me to call them a he or a she or whatever it or they, I will respect that, and that's the term I will use. But I don't. Okay,
so my point is like, it would be like somebody being offended that they called you that this feels to me like you're offended that somebody's calling you white. I assume you are white. I can't actually tell from your picture.
Well, I'm a mixture of a whole bunch of different races.
Okay, so then let me use me as an example. It'd be the same thing as me getting offended when somebody calls me white. Like, I don't know. It's just not a slur, and it's not something to get upset about, I guess.
I guess you're not getting my point. When you no longer have to identify me as cis because you know that I am a woman, why do you constantly call me cis when it's not relevant to the conversation?
Look, I mean, like, if somebody's just calling you cis, just like piss you off, yeah, they're just being a jerk.
No, it's not cis. It's cis woman. If they're
like, you're a cis woman over and over again, they're just being a jerk, I guess. But like, I don't know. It's not like a slur. Like if somebody's doing something intentionally that they know bothers you, they're just a jerk. But it's not like a slur, and it's not something that I don't know.
I don't take it as a slur, but what I do take offense to is that they constantly have to use that word, even though I've identified as it, yes, and now it doesn't matter. Just like them being trans, they identified as that, and yes,
I understand that.
Matter.
All I can say is just remove yourself from the conversation then.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. Anyway. Anything else we want to talk about, or should we call it there?
We can call it there. Let someone else talk.
Okay. Thanks for being here, Cindy. I appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you.
I feel like my voice is raspier because I have that cold. Anybody else feeling that, or is that just me? All right, let's talk to Charles Carson. By the way, consider liking the live. Consider subscribing if it's something you care about. Also, we got a new subscriber. Thank you, Sylvia, for the Patreon subscription. That's pretty cool.